Explosive news is breaking. Arsenal and Mikel Arteta are facing a massive showtime moment in the Carabao Cup final. This isn't just another game, it's a potential launchpad for a new era at the club, with a win against Manchester City offering a massive confidence boost and a chance to finally open the trophy cabinet after years of near misses. Can they seize this pivotal opportunity and rewrite their history? Meanwhile, the England squad announcement has sent shockwaves through the football world. Phil Foden, despite a dip in form, has secured a spot. But where does that leave Trent Alexander-Arnold, who mysteriously finds himself on the outside looking in? We're breaking down the winners and losers from Thomas Tuchel's surprising selections and exploring the implications for these star players. And get ready for a deep dive into the tactical showdown between Arsenal and Man City in the EFL Cup final. We're dissecting the key subplots that could decide this monumental clash, from Erling Haaland's form and squad depth to the impact of Eberechi Eze and the incredible recent head-to-head record between these two giants. This game has more storylines than you can imagine. Plus, we're asking the big question: does the Pep Guardiola versus Mikel Arteta final signal a true changing of the guard in football? With Arsenal on a remarkable unbeaten run against City and challenging on all fronts, could this be the moment Mikel Arteta truly steps out of his mentor's shadow? Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for all the analysis.
Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Arsenal's Carabao Cup final, a defining moment for Mikel Arteta and the Gunners. For Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, this Carabao Cup final isn't just about lifting a trophy. It's being billed as showtime, a pivotal moment that could potentially launch the club into a new era of sustained success. A victory against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City at Wembley could provide the crucial momentum and belief needed to propel them forward in other competitions and solidify their status as genuine contenders. The narrative surrounding this final is deeply intertwined with Arteta's own journey and Arsenal's recent history. Having assisted Guardiola when Manchester City won their first trophy under the Spaniard back in 2018, Arteta now faces his former mentor with the aim of replicating that galvanizing effect for his own team. He acknowledges the immense psychological boost that winning silverware provides, stating that winning a trophy helps more for sure. It gives you confidence, it gives you the feeling that when it comes to that moment, you can do it. This sentiment is echoed by his players, who see the Carabao Cup as a potential key to unlocking their trophy cabinet. Arsenal's quest for major silverware has been a long one, with their last significant trophy being the FA Cup in 2020. While they've had fleeting successes like Community Shields, the absence of a major trophy for nearly 6 years has drawn criticism. This final represents their first showpiece occasion, with fans present since 2018, and the club hopes it can be the start of a new legacy, much like how the Carabao Cup marked the beginning of City's trophy-laden era under Guardiola. Arteta's squad has been built for success, with significant investment and a clear playing philosophy. Now, they need to deliver on that promise on the pitch. The stakes are undeniably high. While the Premier League title race has widened, this final remains a critical test of Arsenal's mettle. Fans are eager for the team to transition from being perennial contenders to consistent winners. A victory could silence doubters and set the tone for an unprecedented season, while a loss would mean facing familiar barbs for longer. It truly is showtime for Arsenal and Arteta. Will this cup final be the spark that ignites Arsenal's trophy-laden future, or will City's dominance continue? Stay tuned as we analyze how this crucial match could redefine the power balance in English football. England squad shocker: Foden in, Alexander-Arnold out amid Tuchel's bold selections. Thomas Tuchel's first squad announcement as England manager has sent ripples of surprise and debate through the football community. With a massive 35-player roster that effectively splits into two distinct groups for upcoming friendlies. The most contentious decisions revolve around the inclusion of Manchester City's Phil Foden, despite a significant goal drought, and the glaring omission of Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Phil Foden's inclusion is particularly perplexing given his struggles for form and consistent minutes at Manchester City this season. Having not scored since December 14th and playing minimal minutes in crucial Champions League ties, many expected him to be vulnerable. Yet, Foden retains his place, a decision that highlights Tuchel's faith or perhaps a lack of readily available alternatives in his specific role. His international record, with only 4 goals in 47 caps, further complicates this selection, placing him under scrutiny to perform when given the opportunity, especially with Cole Palmer also vying for a spot. Conversely, Trent Alexander-Arnold's absence is a major talking point. Despite his undeniable talent and pedigree, he has been overlooked in favor of players like Tino Livramento and Jed Spence, who Tuchel describes as offering slightly different profiles and having performed better in recent camps. Tuchel admitted it was a tough decision for a big name, but emphasized a commitment to players who have demonstrated consistent form for England. This snub raises questions about Alexander-Arnold's standing within the national team setup, and whether Tuchel rates him as a pure right-back or has alternative plans that don't involve him. Elsewhere, Jude Bellingham, despite a recent hamstring injury, has been included with a special integration plan, while Kobbie Mainoo earns his first senior call-up following his resurgence at Manchester United. Harry Maguire also returns. However, Ollie Watkins faces disappointment, overlooked in favor of Dominic Solanke and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as Tuchel seeks to assess other options in the forward line. The inclusion of players from clubs like Leeds United, such as Calvert-Lewin, signals Tuchel's willingness to look beyond traditional powerhouses if players are in form. This expanded squad offers Tuchel a final chance to assess his options before major tournaments, but the Foden-Alexander-Arnold dynamic is undeniably the most talked-about aspect, sparking widespread discussion about player form, national team priorities, and the manager's strategic vision. With these surprising selections, who will step up for England, and what does this mean for the players left behind? Next, we delve into the tactical battlegrounds of the EFL Cup final between Arsenal and Manchester City. EFL Cup final, 5 subplots that will decide Arsenal versus Man City. The EFL Cup final is here, pitting Arsenal against Manchester City in a clash that, while perhaps not the ultimate prize, carries significant weight for both clubs. This match is more than just a battle for early season silverware. It's a critical test of Arsenal's ambition and City's continued dominance, with several key subplots poised to dictate the outcome at Wembley. One of the most compelling narratives is Arsenal's quest to finally break their trophy drought against a Manchester City side that has made lifting silverware a habit. Since Pep Guardiola's arrival, City have amassed an astonishing collection of trophies, including 4 League Cups. Arsenal, meanwhile, haven't won this competition since 1993 and have a particularly poor record in recent finals, having lost 3 since 2007. For Mikel Arteta's side, this represents a chance to finally open their trophy cabinet and signal the beginning of a new era, a stark contrast to City's established winning mentality. Erling Haaland's form is another major focus. After a blistering start to the season, his goal-scoring rate dipped significantly, leading to a stutter in City's form. However, a recent goal against Real Madrid in the Champions League offers a glimmer of hope that he might be rediscovering his prolific touch. While City won't necessarily need to go all-out attack as they did in Europe, Haaland's ability to find the net against Arsenal, a feat he's achieved in his last 3 games against them, could be decisive despite his Wembley hoodoo. Squad depth is also a crucial factor. Arsenal, under Arteta, have cultivated a remarkably deep and versatile squad, with goals coming from numerous sources. They boast 12 players with at least 4 goals this season, compared to City's 7. Furthermore, Arsenal's substitutes have made significant contributions, a stark contrast to City's struggles in that department. While City possess immense quality, they haven't always maximized their resources this season due to injuries and inconsistent form from key players like Haaland and Foden. This difference in depth and contribution from the bench could prove pivotal. Individually, Eberechi's resurgence for Arsenal cannot be overstated. His recent form, including a stunning goal against Bayer Leverkusen, has seen him become a regular starter. His ability to create and score, particularly his knack for unlocking defenses with his technical skill and long-range shooting, could be crucial in what is expected to be a tight game. His past performances against City, including providing a key assist in a previous encounter, suggest he can be a difference-maker. Finally, Arsenal's recent head-to-head record against Manchester City is a significant psychological advantage. Unbeaten in their last 6 meetings across all competitions, a stark turnaround from their previous struggles, Arsenal have demonstrated they can compete with and frustrate Guardiola's side. This newfound confidence against a team that has often been their nemesis could be the intangible factor that tips the balance in their favor and secures their first major trophy in 6 years. With so many compelling narratives at play, who will emerge victorious from this high-stakes final? Next, we explore whether this Guardiola versus Arteta showdown signals a monumental shift in football's managerial hierarchy. Guardiola versus Arteta, a changing of the guard at Wembley. The Carabao Cup final between Pep Guardiola's Manchester City and Mikel Arteta's Arsenal is more than just a contest for a trophy. It's a potential watershed moment that could signify a shift in the managerial landscape of English football. As the former mentor faces his acclaimed disciple, the outcome might determine whether City's era of dominance continues or if Arsenal, under Arteta, is truly ready to seize the mantle. Guardiola, a manager who has chased the elusive quadruple multiple times, now finds himself in the unfamiliar position of potentially being a kingmaker rather than the undisputed king. With City facing a steeper challenge in the Premier League title race and already out of the Champions League, this Carabao Cup final, along with potential FA Cup glory, represents their most realistic path to silverware. However, the narrative is complicated by the fact that Arteta, his former assistant, is now leading a formidable Arsenal side that is unbeaten in their last 6 meetings against City and is still in contention for an unprecedented quadruple. Guardiola himself acknowledges the possibility, stating, "For them, yeah," when asked if a quadruple is possible for Arsenal. Arteta's Arsenal has demonstrated remarkable resilience and consistency this season, losing only 3 of 50 games, a stark contrast to City's 9 defeats. Their squad depth is also a significant asset, with goals distributed more evenly across the team compared to City's reliance on Erling Haaland. While Guardiola's teams have historically been characterized by attacking flair, Arteta's pragmatic and physically dominant approach, coupled with a strong emphasis on set pieces, appears to be increasingly influential in the modern game. This tactical evolution suggests Arteta is forging his own path, potentially moving beyond the Pep mold. For Guardiola, this final carries added pressure. He has lost his last 2 Wembley finals, and another setback could fuel narratives about his powers waning. The prospect of Arteta not only denying him the Carabao Cup, but also potentially challenging for the Premier League title and even achieving a treble himself, would represent a significant shift in power. Guardiola's advice to Arteta has always been to go game by game. But the reality is that competing on multiple fronts is demanding, and the Champions League, in particular, remains the ultimate challenge. This encounter is a fascinating study in mentorship and evolution. Guardiola has perfected the art of sustained success, but Arteta seems to have learned not just his tactics, but also how to adapt and build a team that is difficult to beat. Whether this final cements City's continued reign or marks the beginning of Arsenal's ascendance under their former apprentice remains to be seen, but the stakes are undeniably high for both. Will this final be a stepping stone for Arsenal's new dynasty, or will Guardiola once again prove his enduring class? Don't miss our full closing recap and our call to action. And that's a wrap on today's breaking news. We saw Arsenal and Mikel Arteta facing a massive showtime moment in the Carabao Cup final, with a win potentially launching them into a new era. Then, we broke down Thomas Tuchel's surprising England squad, highlighting Phil Foden's inclusion and Trent Alexander-Arnold's omission. We also dove deep into the tactical subplots of the EFL Cup final between Arsenal and Man City, and questioned if the Pep Guardiola versus Mikel Arteta showdown signals a changing of the guard in football. What did you think of these stories? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to news for all your latest updates, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Follow us on all our social media platforms for more exclusive content.